Hi, I'm Madeleine Kelly and I'm an artist. Spectra of Birds came about when I had moved to Wollongong. One day I was recycling a milk carton and I threw it into this box that I had underneath my kitchen sink and stared down at it, and it seemed to be animated looking back at me, and I saw a bird in its form and thought, that'd be an interesting idea, like start documenting the birds that I'm seeing for the first time in this different part of Australia. The milk cartons seemed to offer this opportunity to become a little bit more sculptural in my practice. Up until then I'd been mainly painting, but I had this urge to explore encaustic wax. I'd really fallen in love with a lot of Maddox's encaustic wax works. I'd also really loved the Jasper Johns works that I'd seen overseas. There was something about the tactility of the wax and the pigment that was drawing me to explore the medium. And for some reason, the Tetra Paks or the milk cartons or any actual drinking containers that I began collecting seemed to invite a thicker use of paint, something that I hadn't ever really wanted to do on a two-dimensional surface. At the same time, the milk cartons, in their lightness and their geometry, invited a kind of material exploration. And we talk a lot about truth to materials when we're making art, so I feel that the milk cartons invited the form of the birds as a kind of geometric presence. There's a pelican, and for me the pelicans are the most gracious creatures. I love seeing them fly overhead when I'm swimming in the ocean. Their big yellow eyes, just seeing them dive in to catch fish in their translucent beaks is quite incredible. I just love seeing them. The green catbirds, normally they're a bird that you hear first and then you can keep your eye out for them. But the green catbirds are named after this growling kind of cat sound that they elicit. And of course there's a crimson rosella, which are probably one of the most incredible creations of nature. I mean, who could deny their psychedelic presence? I've used archaeology as a metaphor to discuss my work. The birds embody that transition from a natural product that's been removed from nature into the cultural object of the milk carton. They also embody the labour of their making. So each one is actually quite an intensive process of moving the molten wax onto the hardened surface of the Tetra Pak. The time and the labour that goes into making them is then crystallised in their forms. I really hope that when people look at Spectra of Birds, they provoke a sense of astonishment or wonder. And I also want them to appreciate the grammar of their making, that subtle repetition with variation that suggests a kind of order of nature or culture, but also provokes a sense of love or appreciation of aesthetics. Art is so much about discovery, and a lot of that is subject to chance. It's not a rational approach to making, and it often involves a level of intuition, and I think that's really important. Art cannot be something that fits into a box. It's a completely unfettered domain.